Hello everybody, the Lord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of Back to Basics. So, it's been a while. I definitely think that should be said. We have quite a bit of science that we could spend, and I think what I'm going to spend it on is I'm going to try to get at least 45 science so that I can get these plane parts. That'll also give us probes as well. And that will be very helpful for us. But in order to do that, we need a little bit more science. And as it turns out, we have a few good opportunities for that. So if we go here and look at our contracts, we have the launch stability enhancer and this liquid mount, this radial mount engine that, if we look over here, would be very helpful to us. And I think we also happen to have a deal where we have to test this radial parachute. So I'm going to do that first, because that one is actually fairly easy to do. Now, we have pilots that we need to worry about here. And I think if we take Lubin, that would be very good. We do need to train him up just a little bit. Target range is, of course, between 1700 and 20k. So what I'm going to do here, rather, is I'm going to attach this parachute. Now we've also got the if we look down at our utility here, our science, I think it would be good for us to unlock this guy here and collect some atmospheric data, because it never hurts to have more science. And as I suspect we will be recovering this, I think we should go ahead and get as much of the science as we can. Batteries also would be good for us to have. We do need to be careful, though. This can get really heavy really quickly. And I'm going to put this landing gear on here. Let's just use... well, that's almost low enough. I think if we set the offset just a little bit more, then we will be fine. That looks good to me. Let's just go back here to the place menu, and we will lock our suspension. As far as everything else is concerned, I believe we have crew reports, so that's not going to be a bad deal. Let's just go ahead and launch this thing. I don't think we need to bother at all with landing it. And so, in addition to the little amount of science we're getting here, we also need to test this guy. And that shouldn't be too hard to do. Let's just get this up here. We got a lot of Delta V, or at least so it would seem. Let's scale back the throttle a bit so we don't waste all of our fuel. when we hit this altitude, then it'll be critical that whatever it is that we do, that we are able to get the sky going both at the right speed. We have to be going at 320 for this, by the way, which does make this a little bit tricky. I think we'll make it, though. We will definitely reach our target if we can reach the proper height. And it appears not. Well, let's at least go ahead and observe the materials bay. We got at least 10 science out of that. Whoa! Well, we're not going fast enough, unfortunately. So let's just go ahead and land. It seems like we just need a little bit more fuel. And as you can see, we're getting close. Now, I think what happened last time that killed Jeb is that I time warped through this, and we all know what happens when you time warp through parachute deployment. The result usually ain't so pretty. So I think as long as we attempt to perform our landing here, we're on the crawler way, or maybe we're still on the launch pad. Oh no, we're actually nowhere near either one of those. Maybe we can get a new crew report out from KSC. Well, let's recover that and try again. We are almost there. Got 98% of the value back, which is not bad, and Lubin happens to have gained a little bit of experience as well. So let's just give ourselves a little bit more in the way of fuel. That will definitely help us, because we did run short. And let's, instead of Lubin, let's put Newfert instead, so that he gains a little bit of experience as well. Now, the goal eventually is going to be to increase our launch pad science. I think maybe part of the issue is that we did not have nearly enough energy. So I'm going to watch that this time. I think we will at least get up to out of the atmosphere. If not, I will wait until we land at KSC in order to do our thing. And I think at this point, we will probably be ready to hit this thing. So there we go. That gives us that contract. And we got upper atmosphere science as well for 13. So I think we'll be good at this point. Do we have a crew report from up here? Probably. And let's just come on down as quickly as we can. And we are getting pretty close to the point to where time warp can kill us, so I'm going to try to do what I can to get around that. It looks like we're landing in the research facility this time, or close to it. So I think we actually might have lost a little bit there. But with the science that we have, we do have other benefits. Oh, let's see if we can get another crew report. No crew report, but we can get an EVA, which we neglected to get, even though we're flying over the shores. We should have enough science now to where we can at least unlock the plane parts. Of course, there's going to be a minor issue in that when we unlock these parts, you'll notice we of course have these wings. That's expected. But although we have the wings, we do not happen to have the landing gear, which does make getting this guy a little bit difficult. Let's think about what we want. The wings, I think we will definitely want, as well as the control surfaces. And the, spoilers. In fact, I'm going to get that probe core too, because that probe core is going to be very important to us. We've got visual surveys we can do here. Let's see. Well, I think that's doable. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to take that. We got 2 visual surveys as well. This one, we have to be above our deal, so rockets will probably be our best bet here. Let's even figure out where this guy is, because I think the rockets will probably be the best deal for us. This is over 1870 meters near Jebediah's greatness. Now, where could that be? Jebediah's greatness is way down here. So we will probably want a fairly hefty rocket in order to get there. One that's not too much more expensive than what we already have. However, we'll be landing in the water too. This is about 10k here. I think we would do best if we take 3 of these guys here and just try to recover everything. And who are we going to put in charge? Well, I think we'll leave Newfert in charge right now. This will be part of his astronaut training. Let's make sure we have everything, of course. It's a crew report we have to take, so let's just activate navigation. We're going to be needing to go southwest, so I think 153 will probably be okay. Let's just turn towards that. It may not be the best approach there. Let's see. Which way are we going anyhow? Looks like we're actually going southeast. Oh. Abort. Newfert is going to have to do some work here to land back where we need to. Let's just let this guy stabilize just a little bit. And let's try that again. I think we'll be okay, though. Fortunately, with an abort like this, it's not such a big deal. There we go. Recover that vessel. Getting the plane parts may have actually been a fairly bad idea in this case. Although, you know, I think maybe it would be better for us to actually design a plane to take on this task. We actually do not need this cockpit here. I probably should not have bought it because it did bring down our deal a little bit. If we take out all the oxidizer, will we be able to get up here? The answer to that, of course, is no. We just simply do not have the Delta V required. However, we do have this guy. We do want to test this engine. Let's put that oxidizer back in. I'm not going to worry about carrying that science experiment. It just seems like a bad deal for us. And I'm going to put a couple wings on here. Although I don't think that'll do us much good. But let's set this guy to pitch and this guy to roll. Well, if we can get there. There we go. This guy over here will be our roll. Now we just need to make sure we have our parachutes on. That'll be very important to us. It is a little bit expensive, but we are getting science out of it. Although, you know what? Let's forego the wings. We don't really... If we want wings, then we can just do this guy. I'm going to depend on SAS, otherwise, to get us down. What is our mass, by the way? Almost 10 tons. Not the best deal. We can get plenty of science out of this, as it would turn out. And on top of that, we can test this guy as well. So who's going to be in charge of this? Well, I don't want Bill because he doesn't have any piloting skill. Let's take Lubin. And let's just target this guy. Now, if that's 180, see, that's north. We need to be going 200 something in order to get to our deal. So let's just do that. We are rotated very, very slightly. And the lift is going to cause us some problems. Maybe if we turn on SAS, that may help. Now I want you to notice something as well. We actually have a little bit of velocity that comes from our surface velocity here, and that's going to be a bit of an issue. I'm just going to slowly tease this prograde vector down. Try to get it about where we want it. And try to get us pointed in the right direction as well. And there we go. We are now out. So the best thing for us to do at this point is try to direct ourselves towards this point. And I honestly don't think we're... Oh, wait. We are able to do this, I think. Maybe. It would be nice... if we could actually get over there. I don't think we're close enough. Which means we probably want a little bit more in the way of fuel. Well, I'm going to hope that's at least something we can do, because I don't want to take the reputation hit. Although we did get a lot of science out of that. We've actually got, if we look at it, 26.6, so we're back to the point where we started. And I think we'll be okay. We have plenty of power under these parachutes. More than enough for us to land anyhow. Unfortunately, we could do a plane, except we simply do not have the things that we need for that. Ideally, we want a contract with the jet engine to complete this. Well, there we go. That is rather unfortunate, because I do not believe we can recover that. However, we can get science here, and I think that'll be okay. Let's take that data and then turn around like this, maybe. And try again. Can we get another EVA report? This is still flying. Oh, come on. We'll just let go of this for now. It's a little bit of science, at least. We got 2 extra things here. Let's see if we actually got that. We got some amount of science, but I don't think we have completed that contract. However, there is this guy here. Well, I think I definitely want to grab this guy so that we can at least think about getting this. And then we can do other things as well. Now this guy is over zone LLB, which is probably a little bit closer. Radial decoupler would be an interesting one to do, but I'm going to decline it, as will I do this one, because it's not really... You know, we could do this. And that would give us a little bit of money. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Unfortunately... Oh, we can track debris. Let's try to recover that for some some money. Because that actually would be rather nice. I don't know what happened to the other debris we had. Maybe it was just automatically collected because it was at KSC. And for some reason that has not updated. But let's see what we have here. We have zone LLB, which is out pretty close actually. I think this one would be a little bit easier for us to do. We can't really launch this because we have invalid parts, so I'm going to incrementally, let's see, we'll just call this, what shall we call this? Survey Explorer Mark 1. And so my thought is that if this becomes a little bit too difficult for us to recover, then we'll just, do our thing here. Now we have, in this case, just a crew report we have to get. And we need to do another thing too. We need to check to see if our center of lift is behind our center of mass, and indeed it is. That will probably change over time, so we might want to put that back a little bit further. Because one of the things you'll probably have heard people say is that your center of lift needs to be behind your center of mass. And that is, believe it or not, usually the case. What else can we put on this guy? I think we do need to do that test. So, we'll do that. We need to be above our orbit at this point. Or not above our orbit, but above this point here, which I think we should be able to do easily. Now, of course, this is probably not the best thing to do, because I don't know if we're going to be stable here. As you can see, we are a little bit off here. But on the flip zone, I think zone LLB, it's not going to be hard to get to. In fact, it's right over there. For zone LLB, we need to get above 16,000 meters, which I think will work. Oh no! Let's recover that before we go back. Indeed, staging malfunctions can be a bit of an issue. And we lost this craft here, so let me try again. Actually, I know where it is. It's on the runway. Not the best place for us to lift off from. Hopefully we did not lose everything, and it appears that we did, so why don't we take that and begin flying over this way. So Now we get reputation out of this, which will help us with funds. And we have a problem because Bill snuck in instead of Lubin, as I had wanted. That is not so good for us. Maybe we can get around that. Let's take Bill out and give Newfort another chance. So we've got a lot to do here. One of the things that we want to do, of course, is we want to open up this one contract, figure out where we're going to be. I think as long as we're above 1850 and below 25 will be good. Same with this dude, and in fact, I'm going to move this up here so that we do not accidentally do this again. Let's come over here and activate our navigation. In fact, I'm going to bring up the nav ball too for that. And I think we will probably get up to 5,000 meters or so. Let's get our contracts going and make sure that we at least have our radial going. This is quite a heavy craft, as it would turn out. And I think once we get above this point, we'll be okay to begin pointing, maybe 5K or so. We'll get to pointing to our deal. We still have a lot of things to contend with here. I'm just going to rotate down like this for now. As long as we can get above that one point, then we'll be fine, I believe. We need to get to 390 pretty soon, though. There we go. Decoupler's away. And let's begin moving over this way some. I think we should be okay at this point if we begin to notice that we're straying off a course a bit. But are we close enough to this zone? That is the question. We will know for sure in a bit. I think we're getting pretty close. Though we may be just slightly off target. There we go. Let's grab that crew report. Now all we have to worry about is this guy right here. I think that this would actually be a decent place to do our surveys here. Is there anything else we want to get with that science while we're at it? That's going to be a good question. Now, I probably should have saved that for our radial parachute. But we can slow down quite a bit before we get to that point. I think as long as we're within the proper regime here. Oh, no, we missed it. Went a little bit too fast. Well, let's slow down as much as we can. And let's not get too... In fact, let's look at our radar altimeter. And maybe SAS will be kind to us and give us a good landing. I don't think that'll be the case, of course, but you never know. By the way, it brings up another question. Oh, no. How did I know that would happen? I mean, luckily, we weren't carrying too much on board. And we just happened to get everything back. And KSP has done something really weird to me. Let's see if we can get back in. There we go. 51 science, 82%. Could have done better. But we have some free contracts now. A basic jet engine splashed down at Kerbin. You know what? I'm going to take that. Except, well, there's a problem there. On the one hand, we could do that. That actually wouldn't be a bad idea. It would give us the jet engines. I mean, it is worth a lot of science, so I will do it, I think. What about this guy here? We got a bunch of small gear bay orbiting Kerbin. You know what? I think we should do that again. Let's just go and take a look and see what we have in terms of science here. If we get 90 science, we can at least unlock the plane parts, which will be important for these survey missions. But we'll also want the gear bays as well. I think, maybe given what we have already, you know, it's a hard call with this. These larger tanks are very useful to us because they'll reduce part count. So I'm going to take that. However, you know, I do think it is important that we at least do some splashdown tests, get a little bit more science out of this. And the problem is, of course, going to be the fact that we have got ourselves a bit of a conundrum in that we're trying to do a manned mission where we have these jet engines. And I think maybe the best way for us to get around that is to simply put 2 of them on there, despite their cost. We can always test these when we get into orbit. Or not into orbit, but into our splashdown point. That will give us some money. Oh yeah, well, we do need to do something about that. Let's take our engineer then. And let's hope that we are able to land pretty close to KSC with this. I'm fairly certain that we can get ourselves splashed down. In fact, I'm too certain. And Gilfrey is going to want to get some amount of, experience out of this. That was actually rather fortunate, because we are hopefully going to land in the ocean. Now, we have already gotten our crew report flying over the water, I believe. So it's just a matter of splashing down and testing these engines. There we go. That should at least free up some of our contracts. Got 26 science out of that, I think. Or did we? Yeah, we got more than enough out of it. Let's see what else we got here. We have a poodle we can test, but that I'm not sure that I want to. There's going to be some difficulty in doing that. Although I think we could do it. And that will give us a fair amount of leeway here. But there is something I want to do. I don't want to go there. I want to look at the contracts. Because we are now at the point to where it would really help to have reputation. And so I'm going to take this 144 here. I think we have more than enough. It'll give us 7.5 funds for each reputation. And that will be very useful to us in the fact that at this point I don't really care about reputation. we've got pretty good contracts already. And it's not so much that we would lose fines, or rather lose, that we would lose, maybe not fines, but other things here. When we look at the contracts, yeah, we did. Probably make this one of the last missions for today. I think if we deploy this parachute, and then we'll be fine. Did we take that? No, we sure didn't. I thought we did. I think given the amount of science it's worth, we probably should do it. And it's worth a decent amount of money, too. So, I mean, why not? We'll want a pilot for this one, though. Because we do want to maintain control over the rocket. Now, let's see. We have to get between 150 and 350. I think that's doable if we're careful. Let me just unlock this guy here. I think if we are very careful about this, then we can meet all of our requirements. Because we should have more than enough thrust to do this test. And I think before too long, and this is going to be quite important to us, but before too long, we will want to start looking at a new launcher, one that is going to be, oh no, don't, not an attached point, or an attached part. There we go. I just want to be safe with that. We will be losing some money if I'm not careful with this. What is our mass in total? 8 tons. Not bad. Let's just look at these guys here. We'll start them deployed and we'll lock the suspension. I think if we can get this parachute business sorted out, and I do believe we will be able to. In fact, I'm going to try this even from... Oh, whoa. There appears to be a minor amount of unevenness in the ground here. Speed needs to be above 150 here and below 350. And what I will do is I will maybe throttle down even just a little bit. I mean, I don't think we'll want to get too far ahead. And you will have to forgive me, by the way, if there's background noises. I am visiting my sister with my family, so there may be some. But we are getting pretty close to the speed we want. We just need to be careful about some of the other things here. I think we're doing pretty good on this. Let's run this test. There we go. And I think we will be pretty close to this guy here. In fact, I'm getting a little bit paranoid about the height. Let's take a look and see where we are in terms of fines. I think we're A-okay on this. Lubin is becoming quite the test pilot, or so it would seem at least. But I think our next goal will probably be maybe to unlock the planes some. There is a lot of science involved in that. That was close. But I think the launch pad will be our ultimate goal. There we go. Let's just recover that and see what we got. Well, we're at 46 science, so let's just take a look and see, do we want to save up, or do we want maybe these bigger, struts and launch clamps would be useful, but at this point they take too many parts. So I think what we'll do is we will save up a bit for the jet engine, or maybe the solar panels. There's so many things we can get here for science, and I'm halfway tempted to say that we should save up more for the science if we can. But until then, let's let's not go to the space plane hangar. That would not be so good. Let us instead go to the contract section and see if there's anything else worth doing. We just got more in the way of visual surveys. We'll have to see where those are to make our decision on that. But these may be doable. And we get money from them each time we do it, so I think let's just take one look real quick to see maybe if that's not what we want to do. So that's GPR, IS, and Neto's Obsession. I think these are doable, so I'm going to accept that contract and maybe decide on the other one. And Until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I will see you later.